Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Lark from Wellington here. Today we're finally talking about salt. No, this is not the stuff that you put on your food to make it tastier. This is indeed the blockchain-backed loan platform. Hold your assets, get your cash as advertised. We're going to be talking about what salt is trying to do, what the problems with using salt might be, and more after a quick shout out to everybody who has been hitting that like button. And of course, everybody who has been subscribing to the channel. That's the new subscribers, that's the old subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody, for your continued support of the channel. And of course, this is not professional financial advice, guys. Just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies. Let's check it out. So, what is the problem that salt is trying to solve? Well, if you have Bitcoin, and you would like to have money, but not lose your Bitcoin, you find yourself in a problem. Because you have to sell your Bitcoin, but then you know, oh my God, next week Bitcoin's going to be worth $10,000. I feel like I'm automatically losing by selling that Bitcoin. With salt, though, you can use your digital assets as collateral to get real money to spend in the real world, so you can get some US dollars, for example. This is fantastic. The loan repayment period, when it ends, you can then just go and buy back, or you get your Bitcoin released back to you after you pay back whatever the term might be. Furthermore, this is actually quite disruptive, not just for that either, but because of the nature of the blockchain. Fees are way lower, no closing costs, no prepayment penalties. Do you guys know about these? Prepayment penalties on loans. If you pay off your loan too quickly, you get penalized. You don't have that with salt. There is a fixed term rate. So basically, if you lend $10,000 in Bitcoin, you want $10,000 cash. The interest rate's 10%. Once you have paid back that $11,000, your Bitcoin is released back to you. Amazing model. I think this will be a very popular platform because it's going to let people continue to hold their incredibly valuable crypto assets without having to trade them out for cash. Now, not everything is as rosy as it may seem at first. There is always the possibility that you can lose your crypto assets. Now, this is something you really got to keep in mind. This is the automatic collateral management system. The loan is always in the favor of the lender, not of the borrower of money. So you, as the borrower, assume a decent proportion of the risk. Obviously, by protecting the lenders, they're keeping the banks, who are their partners, happy by providing that liquidity to make good profit off the loans, basically guaranteed. I want you to imagine if salt had been active around the time of the China crisis. Let's say the day before, you took out a $10,000 loan with all your Bitcoin. Well, now you are faced with a problem because the next day, Bitcoin is down substantially. The loan holder says, hey, that's not enough collateral anymore. This guy either needs to put more Bitcoin in to make up the difference so that there is the proper ratio of collateral in this loan, or they need to pay the loan now up to a certain point, or we're going to sell the Bitcoin until we get to that rate. Now, you might not lose all your Bitcoin in such a sale, but let's imagine, I don't know, you're on holiday in Tahiti for a week without your phone. You come back, you've lost half your Bitcoin, you go, oh my God, what happened? That's a possibility here. That is something to keep in mind. Now, obviously, the market's growing. Something to keep in mind, though. price fluctuations do happen in the market. It's a pretty crazy place, the cryptocurrency market. So that is a potential drawback of SALT, but nevertheless, I think it will be a very well subscribed to platform. Now, there are different amounts that you can borrow. You can have, for example, up to $10,000, which is only about 1 Bitcoin collateral at this point, to get some USD goodness for 3 to 24 months. If you happen to need $100,000 of Japanese yen for 1 hour, SALT's got you covered. Who needs that? Who needs that, seriously? Anyway, somebody somewhere does at some point, and when they do, SALT's got them. Anyway, look, SALT goes beyond that too. They give a lot of interesting use cases about how, for example, crypto exchanges can have integrated leverage. ICOs. Now, this is a really interesting one too. I thought that was a great one to point out, because you're an ICO. You've just taken $10 million worth of Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. Now, you want some cash, but you don't actually want to sell off the Bitcoin. You come to SALT and you say, hey, we need a business account. We want $1 million in cash. We're going to put $1 million worth of Bitcoin up. Amazing. They'll be able to pay that back after the 36-month period without losing all of that capital. That is really, really interesting too. I think it's a great use case for them. And of course, if you're a mining company, there's really great possibilities here for you too, to get some working capital. Now, there are 120 million SALT memberships that will exist. A SALT membership is this here. A base membership costs 1 SALT. A Premier costs 10 SALT, and an Enterprise costs 100 SALT. So that lets you get up to whichever borrowing tier you're looking for. And of course, more currency pairings, the more you go up as well. So that is where SALT is making all of their money. Obviously, then they set up everything with the smart contract between you and the banks, which are providing the liquidity for that loan. Now, they will be having cards coming out as well. This, I think, we should take with a grain of salt, because even if you look at the dedicated card platforms like 10x, for example, everyone is having trouble issuing their cards at the moment. Companies which have been issuing cards for a while are not issuing them at this moment. Regulations are a real problem. There are people who want to get involved but simply can't because of the country that they are based in. Regulations are changing all the time, and SALT is trying to be as regulatory compliant as possible. They're working very, very hard to make sure that they're compliant, for example, in the US in particular. I think it's one of the first markets they're really targeting. Obviously, they want to be global, but as far as issuing cards, issuing loans, all these different things, it is incredibly problematic, and it is very difficult moving across different jurisdictions to do that. That is a real problem that SALT has to work with, but they are starting simply expanding out from there. The team, very good team here. Obviously, they've been able to attract Eric Voorhees as a key advisor for SALT. That is some massive name recognition. If you don't know who Eric Voorhees is, he is the guy behind Shapeshift.io. He's also been involved in the space for a very long time. So the fact they're able to get him on board as a key advisor is big. Looking down the team, though, we have got a lot of different people from all around the space. A big team, lots of people in development that can actually bring out a product. So that, I think, is very, very important to keep in mind there. Looking at the roadmap, we've got a long way to go. Like so many projects in the crypto space right now, we've got a long way to go. The platform is not operational yet. Bitcoin collateralized loans will be the first ones only if you, for example, are an Ethereum investor. this doesn't help you until next year sometime. If you are wanting to collateralize your altcoins, well, again, you gotta wait. Credit cards not until mid next year sometime. So everything is still to come. Now, from an investor standpoint, potentially still a very, very good time to get involved with SALT, because it's not operational yet, because that business hasn't started yet. The price of SALT is still pretty low, $363 a piece. Now it does have a $177 million market cap, which is not unsubstantial by any means. It is the 36th most valuable cryptocurrency at the time of this recording. If they do what they say they're going to do, I think it's going to be very popular. I think it will be a very good long-term investment, but keep an eye on that roadmap, guys. Remember, most of what they want to do isn't going to happen until the end of next year. If you're buying SALT, look at it as a long-term project. Hold on to it for a while. I think we will see some run-up when we see those Bitcoin collateralized loans coming out. When we see the cards come out, that will of course add a whole nother layer of utility to this platform. I think it's a really great idea. If you want to go pick up some SALT, rock over to Bittrex or Binance. They are the two best places to get it. Liqui and EtherDelta do suffer from liquidity problems, but definitely Binance and Bittrex are your go-tos if you want to go pick up some SALT. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this very interesting loan platform in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.